back.
What is this, game what?
This is game 6 right now.
Game 6?
Game 6, another home game for y'all.
Man, I'm happy about today, man.
I am too, brother.
We got, in my opinion, he's a legend.
Okay.
Social media guru.
Young legend.
That mortgage guy on social media. TikTok phenom.
There we go.
Close to 700K
What else?
on TikTok.
What else?
5+ million views
What else?
on TikTok.
Let's go.
The ultimate lead generator.
There we go.
Top 1% in the nation.
Let's go.
Now, hold on. Remember we were just talking about, like being top 1%. That's phenomenal.
It's phenomenal.
It's how many people are loan officers in America?
Too many.
Too many, yeah. But he's top 1%.
Too many.
That's major.
Yeah.
We got my guy Scotty B in the building.
Let's go. We happy.
Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
Man, I'm excited. I'm always excited, man. Thank you.
Of course.
Because I'm excited to learn.
There we go.
I love learning.
You gotta learn something new every day.
All right, Scott, man. Thank you for coming.
Of course. No, I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, man. So this is Below the Iceberg podcast. So we're just about to go into it. So we're about to start Below the Iceberg. Okay. Awesome. So where you from, man? Like, tell people who you are and where you from.
Yeah, so I was born in Jersey. My mom and I moved here when I was, 5 or 6 years old. Grew up in Cockeysville area and then moved up to Bel Air for middle school. And grew up in Maryland. Have family throughout the DMV and in Jersey, and that's kind of where I'm from. Went to public high school, Bel Air High School, and then John Carroll. So it was kind of a mix of public and private, which was kind of different because I grew up in public school and then got unleashed to that crowd, which was a little different. But yeah, that was kind of a little bit about my background. I came from sales management experience. I was in the fitness industry and doing modeling and different types of things, and realized that I could make a lot more money in finance, and tried just testing it out with the waters with my dad. He had his own company, and that was kind of how I got into the industry. And over the last couple of years, I have learned a lot about branding and social media and just content generation, but that's kind of what's led into that mortgage guy and where I'm at today. So
okay, man. I didn't know you were a model, man. You never told me.
Yeah, man.
You was on your Fabio vibe.
Actually, it was at the Under Armour clinic right down here. It was me and Chris Evering and a couple other guys that I knew. Chris got me into it, and that was when I was in my heyday and like really training hard at like 230, 240, and was just going ham at the gym every day.
Sheesh.
But yeah, it was a good time.
So we talked about that in your modeling career, a couple different things you do. Was that your last 9 to 5 before you jumped into the mortgage industry, or what was that?
Yeah, so it was a mix of me being a sales manager at Gold's Gym, selling memberships, as well as modeling, and then that was kind of how I got into the finance industry. And a lot of people don't realize how long it takes to build a book of business, as a loan officer. So his first 2 to 3 years are rough.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's definitely an
So
adjustment.
when do you start? Like when did you start in the mortgage industry?
So I started when I was 22 and a half, almost 23. I got licensed and started doing refinance business. The rates were really low at that time. And then I think in like 2015, 2016, the rates started to trickle up. And I was like, man, I can't do refinances for the rest of my life. These rates aren't going to be this low forever. And that was when I dove into purchase business and started networking with agents and doing different things. And at the time, that was when we met.
We met, yeah. I think it was like 2014, 2015 when we first met.
It was like the bus tour, right?
Yes, the bus tour, yeah. I remember that day.
Now, what's the bus tour?
So the bus tour was, you can explain better than I can.
Yeah, we did this thing called the poker run where we had like 5 or 6 listings. At each listing, everyone got a poker card. We rented out like a limo bus and had lunch and drinks, and we would preview 6 listings, and then all the agents on the bus, we would have like 25, 30 agents from all different brokerages. They would fill out a review card of the listing, let you know if they thought it was overpriced or, what the weaknesses were or how it stood. And that was kind of the premise of it. And we ended it off at like Looney's Pub where we did the best 5 cards. Won, and they got like a gift certificate, or one time was an iPad or something like that. But it was fun.
So basically it was like a party bus, brokers open.
Now that's hard because that's a different type of marketing technique. You know what I mean? I'm sure that sign up was crazy. It wasn't hard to get people, to sign up for that.
The first go around, people were kind of skeptical, and then I feel like once we had 2 and 3, people started to figure out, it was a good time. It was just going around looking at listings. Plus, the listing agents got a lot of feedback.
Right.
And I think 2 or 3 of the listings out of the 3 or 4 runs we did sold from another agent that was on the bus who had a buyer. So that was pretty cool.
There we go.
Yeah.
That's clutch.
Yeah. I think, man, you were like the 2 youngest on the bus, man. I actually got a picture from that day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's
so-
on Facebook.
We might have to put that on.
Yeah, we gotta pull that up.
Yeah, we
that
had to put that on there, man.
We
Yeah.
were so young. It was so hard to build a business back
I
then
know.
because we were so young.
Yes.
We didn't really know what we were doing, but we knew we wanted to get after it, and we worked hard. But
Yes.
man, that was a tough time.
Right.
And
It tested us.
That's
sure.
what's like the grind. Like I think people need to know because you guys were the youngest. I've always been the youngest getting into the industry. I got my license when I was 23 when I was in college, and started selling real estate full time a year after that. But tell them about that process of getting into the mortgage industry. We had to do the poker tour. What's it called?
The poker run.
The poker run.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
poker run. Tell us about that. Maybe you're dealing with people. This is some of people's largest purchase they ever made.
Yeah.
How did you handle that, and how do people get into the mortgage industry?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, as far as licensing is concerned, you've got to get sponsored by a bank or lender. You have to, run through the licensing process with the DLLR. For me, I failed the test the first time around, but it takes probably 30 days or so to run through there's like a 40-hour class you have to run through. They have hybrids and different ways you can take it. And then you have to take the test, and then they have state tests as well, depending upon what state you want to get licensed in. But it was really tough. I mean, the problem is with the licensing itself, nothing of the licensing, just like real estate, teaches you about the day-to-day that you actually have to do when you get into the business. So it was a lot of trial and error and figuring things out when I was younger. And, it was just, you make mistakes and you learn from those mistakes. You try to get better every day. I still learn every day, but it definitely takes time, and just you got to be patient and just have grit, because that's really what it comes down to. You can't give up, and just got to keep pushing forward.
Yeah, that's a fact.
So
For sure.
Yeah. So just to piggyback on the mortgage industry. So how do loan officers get paid? I know, but it sounds better coming from you. Like, what's the
yeah, I
how
mean,
do you get paid?
there's different companies out there, that offer different hybrid ways where they'll give a salary plus commissions, and in those situations, the commissions and percentages that they get are a lot less than if you're 100% commission. So there's kind of a blend of different ways loan officers are paid, but for me, I've always been 100% commission. So you got to hunt to eat, and that's kind of what I've grown from and just learned from, because I've never been in the salary type world position. I don't know how that works, but I love being able to control my own destiny. And the more that we work, the more we make, and not a lot of people can say that for themselves. So I love that about our business.
Sure.
We control our destiny.
Yes.
Did you play any sports at all growing up?
I did, yeah. So I played all different types of sports: soccer, baseball, basketball. Once I hit John Carroll, it was kind of tough because everyone was on that level. So
They recruit
wasn't,
though.
yeah,
Definitely recruit outside
dude,
of-
our varsity team, there wasn't a guy under like 6'8".
Yeah.
And I'm like, I thought I was big growing up, but I'm not that big. So, but yeah, all different types. I played volleyball. I loved volleyball. But then once I hit college, I kind of went to Harvard Community College because I had a ton of money, and then transferred to Towson. So that was kind of how it went for me. But,
That's one of the things that like people underestimate. When you're doing suicides and up downs, and your coach is talking about, yeah, I'm building you not only to be a better football player, a better man or whatever. A lot of people don't understand how that's really preparing you for business or entrepreneurship or just to be a good productive citizen.
Yeah.
But that's where that grit comes from.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that we have about our podcast. We call ourselves Below the Podcast, and as you heard when we started, what game was this? It's because I played football in college. Jamal played basketball, so we have like a sport background, and I feel like that propels us in business so much.
It does.
You know?
That competitive spirit is huge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I love to compete, man.
Yeah.
I love to compete.
Yeah.
I always want to be the best. I don't know. It's just something in me.
Yeah.
I always want to be the best. I need to learn from whoever's the top, and I need to be the best.
Yeah.
That's just what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know you have that same mentality because you top 1%.
Yeah, man. I always knew that I was going to push and figure out a way to get to that level, but honestly, social media in the last year and a half, 2 years has been a whirlwind. I never expected it to happen so quickly, but it's crazy. I can't believe it still.
So what you like, 10x your business?
Yeah. I mean, in 2019 I did like 13 or 14 million. I should do, a little over 100 to 120 million this year in volume.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
it's
Sheesh.
yeah, all from social media, man. It's just
We gonna get into that.
Yeah, we're
We're gonna get into that
a little bit.
100 million? Sheesh.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
That's bag talk.
Yeah, that's big bag talk right there, man. But that's a whole other story, man. Yeah, so we're going to talk about the mortgage products out there, the loan products that are available for consumers.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about the FHA loan, the conventional financing, and what like the difference is?
Yeah. So you got your traditional financing options: FHA, VA, USDA, conventional financing. A lot of them have a blend of what the minimum credit score requirements are. FHA and VA, most banks will go down to the low 600 range. We're able to go down to a 580. Conventional financing, majority of the time, if you're below a 680 credit score, FHA and the government loans make more sense because they're less credit driven. But conventional loans, that's a great program if you're a stronger credit applicant. And then VA financing, USDA financing, FHA, those are your government programs. But then you've got other programs out there, with like non-conforming commercial options, like you said, that you finance this building under. There's hard money loans for like investors. So there's a lot of different options. So it just kind of depends on your situation. If you're looking to invest, if you're buying a primary residence, a second home, depending upon what the situation is, certain options will definitely make more sense than others. So
Okay.
For sure. Jamal and I, we're both agents, and I'm a broker. And the first question that I have from all the clients is, where are the grants at? Where's the money?
Yeah.
Free money.
And we call that OPM, other people's money. Everybody know OPM. Okay, other people's money. So, can you tell us a little bit of what opportunities are out there for people, what they can do to kind of be savvy in this market right now from your perspective?
Yeah. I mean, there's a number of different down payment assistance and first-time homebuyer programs. The OPMs, like you said. To be honest, it's not always the best situation or the best option from a financial standpoint, especially in the long run. The majority of those programs have higher interest rates, which is great. You get the 3 or 3.5% down payment covered, but then you're looking at a higher interest rate. In majority instances, you're talking about $75 to $150 more a month in interest. And a lot of those programs will restrict you from when you can sell or refi the home. So you might get stuck in that program for 5 to 15 years before you can get out of that loan. And that's where they get you. You're paying the higher interest on a monthly basis. And then the risk is if the market gets worse, like they're saying, and we're at the lowest point in the history of the U.S., which it's going to get worse, it's just a matter of time. You get stuck in that financing option with the higher rate over the 30-year term, and you can't get out of it because rates go up. Then you're paying 30 to 60 grand more in interest just to get the 5 to 8 grand or whatever it is they're giving you towards a down payment. So, while it sounds good up front and it's great to keep more money in your pocket from a financial standpoint in the long run, it doesn't make as much sense in most instances, but it's kind of, teach their own. So
You said a lot in there, and I think one of the things that just from a real estate perspective is you said you think the interest rates might get even lower.
No, I mean, I think we're at one of the lowest points that we'll ever see. I think in the next 3 to 5 years, as the market stabilizes post-pandemic and everything that we've got going on, I mean, the big banks and the Fed, they want to increase rates, so it's just a matter of time. And I think in the next 3 to 5 years that we'll see the mid 4 to low 4% range, maybe, creeping up to 5% depending upon what's happening.
Okay.
But I think it's just a matter of time.
Okay.
So all in all, even though the money is free, it's not really
It's not free.
free.
Yeah. Sometimes you want that free.
Yeah.
Not all free is good free.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's a fact.
So
That's a fact.
we're going to talk a little bit about your TikTok following and everything that you have going on. But one of the biggest things, especially in the industry, is we get buyers that say that they're pre-qualified.
Right.
And different lenders' pre-qualification process sometimes are different. Some haven't done a lot of underwriting, just a Q&A, and now you're ready to go shop. Can you talk a little bit about the NFM pre-qualification process and just your thoughts on people getting pre-qualified?
Yeah, I feel like honestly it comes down to the loan officer and how they operate. For me, I'd rather cross my T's and dot my I's and be as thorough as possible on the front end just to make sure I'm not wasting the agent's time. In a lot of instances with my agents, it's a lot of agent partnerships that I've got business coming in from. So, I want to be reliable from that standpoint, not waste your time out on the street shopping with a buyer who may not qualify or may not get the deal done at the end of the day. So, and we see it all the time. I have people hit me up from TikTok that want to buy a house and they're like, I applied with 2 other lenders and they didn't make me get W-2s or pay stubs or any of this stuff. I'm like, I'm sorry,
Right.
if you want to buy a house with us, this is what I require. And if not, no worries. You can go with a half-rate lender that you might not get the loan with and go under contract and spend money on inspections and appraisal. And you're out, $800 to $1,000 because they didn't do their due diligence on the front end.
Right.
So, that's my standpoint from it, but I think it comes down to the loan officer and how they operate. So
and that's a fact, because one thing I can say, having one of the top producing teams, just not even in the region but in the country, is that it's not only us selling the deal, it's the loan officer behind it. So when you get that call from the listing agent, and when we say listing agent, what we mean is the agent representing the seller, and they're saying, "Hey, Scott, how serious is that buyer?"
Yep.
It's underestimated how important once you or someone from your team answering that call is, but to also give that response. And can you talk a little bit about what you do and your process for those calls? I'm sure you're getting them by the boatload.
Yeah, honestly, what I do is when my agent partner or even when my buyer and I'm not familiar with the agent, they submit an offer, I always tell them to send me the listing agent's contact info so I can at least call them, and if they don't answer, I can text them and let them know that they're more than qualified. I ran everything through the underwriting system up front, collected all income docs, everything's good to go. But that is pivotal in this market just because the inventory has been outrageous for the beginning parts of this year. So it's definitely helps give certain buyers a leg up because not all lenders are doing that.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
That's amazing.
Yeah.
This market's been crazy, man.
Yeah.
You talk about inventory is low. It's very low. It's crazy, man. It's a lot of buyers, not enough sellers. We gotta compete, and the loan is definitely give yourself a leg up when competing.
And tell the audience what that looks like, because we're saying inventory. What does that translate to when it comes to making offers?
When we talk about inventory, think of it like a magazine, like or like clothing or something like that. Inventory. How much of it do you have? Use the Yeezy for example. How many sizes do you have? How many do you have? If you don't have enough, then people are going to give you more money for it to have it.
Right.
So that creates a bidding war. So when you put yourself in a position for a bidding war, the price goes up.
Yeah.
Definitely goes up. So your financing definitely give you a leg up when competing.
Because
I love to compete.
On our team, we had some calls where I had to talk a lot of agents off the ledge because we would get deals where they're competing against 10 to 15 buyers.
Yeah.
And, the sellers want cash.
Yep.
So, that's just the game. And hopefully some of you all took something from that little segment, but that's very important.
That's for sure. Yeah, so buyer's market. Seller's market. But yeah, so I just have a question about the new loan guidelines for people who are college students and people who are looking to purchase.
Yeah.
So what are the new guidelines?
Like the college debt?
Yeah, the college debt, yes.
Yeah, so prior to, right now, the mortgage industry had to use 1% of an outstanding loan balance as a payment against a buyer. Even if it's in forbearance or you're in an income-based payment plan, we had to use 1% of whatever the balance was, which I've got buyers right now that are under contract with $200,000 to $400,000 in student loan debt.
Ooh.
At that level, you're talking about a $2,000 to $4,000 minimum payment that we have to use against them. When in actuality, they're not paying anywhere near that amount. Majority of them, at that level, are on like student loan forgiveness plans, where at a certain point they're going to get it forgiven, or not have to pay the full amount, or whatever the instance is. But that 1% amount that we had to use was just crushing buyers and their budget and their buying potential. So as of now, it's now been reduced to 0.5%. So now we have to account for half of what we did previously as far as the monthly payment for that debt, which is, that's a big difference for a lot of buyers. That could be the difference of a $300,000 purchase price to $550.
Sheesh.
So that definitely helps from a buying power standpoint.
More buying power.
For sure. And I saw an article somewhere, I think it might have been on FHA or something. It was saying that now some lenders can go off of what is reported to the credit report.
I don't know about that.
Okay.
I'll do some research on it, but I believe it was you have to either use the 0.5% amount or like a fixed rate payment option, where it's like a fully amortized payment where it's not like income driven. But I'll double check that. I don't know if maybe something changed recently.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you're the guy. You're the go-to guy. So I'm just saying, like, I just saw that and I was like, no, the game's about to change.
Yeah.
And what Jamal was talking about as far as buying power is how much you can buy. You know, and that could be relative as well, because when you get a client, let's say they're qualified to buy a $400,000 or $500,000 home, and we know that you're in a situation where there's multiple offers. They're qualified for $400 to $500, but sometimes the listing agent wants to know how much can you guarantee of that. So what I mean is, if the appraisal comes in at $450 and you offer $500, you were qualified for $100, but the appraisal is only at $450. So what's going to happen with this other $50,000? Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
You know, and that's just the game that we're in.
Yeah, that's a major gem right there. That's a bird you just dropped.
That was a bird?
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna have to chop that up. You know?
Yeah, that's yeah. So that's definitely the result where a lot of people getting their contracts accepted, because they are guaranteeing that money above the appraised value. Yeah. However, they have to have that money. Yeah. Because if they don't, they're gonna have to cough up that EMD.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, you know, we're talking about your success, and you know, you guys can do $100 million this year. But can you reflect on some of those failure moments that you had getting to this level? Whether it was just getting in the business or maybe expanding the business via TikTok. What are some of those failure moments?
Yeah, honestly, you know, in 2017, I kind of took a little hiatus from the business, where I started my own company. It was outside of the mortgage world. It was a magazine company. It was the first medical cannabis magazine in the state of Maryland, where I was working with all the dispensaries, growers, doctors, you know, and we grew it in over a year to close to $25,000 a month in contractual ad revenue. And it blew up really quick, and that was kind of where I figured out the branding side of things and social media, just content generation, and a lot of what I was doing was stemming from social media and just like building a community local surrounding, you know, what was going on in the movement and ending the stigma. And so, you know, that business ended. My partner and I had to go in different directions, and that was when I kind of came back to the mortgage world, and I was like, you know, I need to create a brand for myself, you know, become like a public figure to some extent and educate people, which was exactly what I did with the magazine, was, you know, ending the stigma, sharing the science behind the movement, how it actually interacted with our bodies. And that was kind of how I figured out like what the consumer wanted to see as far as content and information and education. And that just kind of stemmed right into That Mortgage Guy, which I launched within like 3-4 months of getting back into the business.
Wow. So it pretty much took off right away, or?
Yeah, I mean, it took some time. I think at first I didn't have my eyes set on TikTok, so I was doing like Facebook videos and Instagram. And if you go back and look at it, it was pretty bad starting out. And then I had a few videos that went pretty viral organically on Facebook, where I did like some music videos and rewrote the songs, you know, and the lyrics to those songs. Like the one was Bad Guy from Billie Eilish, and I made it into That Mortgage Guy, and just like a parody about buying a house and just different things. I think that got like a little over 100.
I think that was one of the first ones you showed.
Yeah.
We've been talking about you for a while now.
Yeah.
I think that was one of the first ones.
Yeah, I like that.
That was one of the first ones. I'm trying to get back into it. I just need to. I want to start doing like that monthly. I need to set some time aside and start doing it. But it's definitely on the radar because I love doing it. It's a lot of fun. But that was kind of how that led into TikTok. You know, I was sitting in my basement, and I won't forget, at my old house. I was working out, listening to Gary Vee's podcast, and he was raving. He was raving about the organic reach on TikTok, and you know, I was like, man, I'm gonna go check it out and see what's going on. This was when I was really starting to dabble with branding and content gen. And I started going hard and doing like 1 or 2 videos a day and trying to figure it out. And I think like the 24th or 25th video got like 300,000 or 400,000 views overnight. And I was like, man, this is legit. I gained like 8,000 or 9,000 followers from the one video. And I was like, wow, like I need to really take this seriously. And that was when I really started to like take content generation to another level and incorporating it into my day to day and planning and building strategy around it. So it's that was kind of there were a lot of, for the longest time, man, I was doing all the old school stuff and what all the old guys do in the industry.
Mailers and stuff like that.
Yeah, going from
So you used to do the Buffini Method.
Yeah, the Buffini,
Popeyes.
little Popeyes.
Talk to us about that.
Yeah, so the Buffini Method is you do Popeyes. What you used to do, like little trinkets and
little
used
things.
to meet up at used to go to different offices and used to give like little trinkets.
Yeah, just like little things. One was like an extra gum packet with like a little thing on it said the difference between ordinary and extraordinary is a little extra.
Right.
It was extra gum.
Okay.
And so just like different things like that where it was a low price point, spending like 30 to 80 cents for one piece, dropping it off at different agencies to 150 to 180 agents, but I was just blanket marketing people, and I was doing what everyone else was doing. And then when I kind of came back to the business after the hiatus, I was like, man, I need to figure out something different because I'm tired of doing the same shit everyone else is doing.
And that was TikTok.
And that was TikTok, and social media and branding and video content. So
he was telling me about TikTok, man. I'm mad I didn't like transition into doing it.
It's not too late.
Right.
Talking like,
man.
No, but he got in it. I feel like he got in it before it became like a boom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he started early. He kept telling me like, Jamal, you got to get into TikTok. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna think about it.
The boat's still there, man.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys are on there heavily, but one agent that my team works with, her name's Laura Matera. She's with Coldwell Banker.
Okay.
She started going hard in January, and she's up to like 340,000 followers right now.
Yeah, we got TikTok guy.
It's still there.
Yeah.
One of our behind the scenes guy, Montre. He has a little following. He's a DJ. Yeah, 17K on TikTok.
That's good.
So like,
Man,
Quick
you gotta
flex.
start somewhere.
Yeah, but I don't really know about it. He knows more about it than I do. So
Yeah.
we did we create one? Did we have one? So we got a TikTok.
There we go.
So we gotta make a video. That's all.
for sure.
Yeah.
Sure. So it seems like just from listening to your story is that you were pretty much independent contractor, self-employed for the majority of your career. You say you didn't have really any experience with the salary type of thing. What gave you that confidence and leap of faith to just operate? And you mentioned that you have a wife and a family. Like, what gave you that?
Thank God I got in when I was 21, 22, because I could not get into the business right now, sustain, the responsibilities and the, mortgage payment and everything that I had as far as bills for my family. I was blessed that when I got into the business, I was still living at home. So I didn't have, rent or mortgage. I had a car payment and car insurance and a phone, and that was it. And, my first year I only made like 30 grand, and, I made 40 grand the next year. And it was hard, I was, at that time we were trying to find a place to rent. So we found a rental. Luckily my fiance, my wife at the time, she had a job with MedStar and was making okay money too. So we made ends meet, but I couldn't get into the business now, not with the amount of time it takes to build a book of business. And unless you've got a security fund of, 12 to 18 months worth of bills that you can sit on and know that you got your bills covered until you're able to build up enough business.
Right.
And if you can't cut it, you just gotta know you gotta go back to a salary job or something to be able to make ends meet.
Yeah.
So
You say UPS is hiring.
yeah, and Amazon too.
They're
always hiring.
You can always get a job. That's a whole another story, man. But yeah, man, close to 700. Are you at 700 now? Like, where you at?
I'm trying so hard.
Close.
I'm right there. I'm at like 698.8 or something like that. I'm just so close. I've been hovering at that level for like a month and a half, and it's driving me nuts.
Yeah.
So
You might have to make that video. Where we take you about a hump, bro. I'm telling you, you got some ideas.
And you got millions and millions of views, man. I think one of your videos got like how many? What's like your top views on one of your videos?
I think it was like 5.7 or 5.8.
5.7. Sheesh.
Yeah.
So overall, how many views do you have overall?
I don't know, honestly.
It goes up every day.
I want to say it's probably close to maybe like 50 million.
Wow.
So 50 million saw your face.
Yeah, I mean, I've got 6.6 million in likes, and normally my likes are around like 10% as far as engagement and viewership. So if that correlates with the amount of views I have, it should be around like 66 million views, like around that level.
Ooh,
Yeah.
man.
We talking numbers.
Yeah.
We talking big
Hey,
money.
you talking about what? It's almost, Drake say a lot of y'all got more followers than dollars. Well, he got 100 million. You about to close 100 million. He got 66 million views. So I think you're doing good.
It's adding
in
up.
that perspective. It's adding up.
The numbers are adding up.
Okay, I see you, Scott.
Yeah. So why TikTok? Why TikTok? Why not Instagram? Why not Facebook? Why TikTok?
Yeah, I mean, it's really just the saturation with where Facebook and Instagram are. It's tough to grow a following on there right now. Luckily, these other platforms are kind of reshaping what they're doing as far as Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts. Pinterest has like this in-profile video stuff where people are getting millions of organic views and they have no followers. But a lot of these platforms are starting to try to mimic TikTok. I mean, they're not starting, they are mimicking TikTok down to a T. YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, Pinterest, all of these things have been in a shift in the last year and a half since TikTok has exploded. And now they're one of the big boys, but I mean, the only reason I really jumped in was because of the organic reach and the potential. And, there's no platform like it where you can have no followers, post your first video, get millions of views, and get 200,000 to 400,000 followers overnight. And that's what some of these accounts are doing. I mean, I saw one yesterday that had like 15 or 16 million views on their first video. They had one video, and they had like 287,000 followers.
So it's like your phone just going ding, 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 ding on that. What is that like when you woke up and you had the 300,000? What is that like?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I turned off the TikTok notifications a long time ago because
It's crazy.
It's too much, yeah.
Yeah.
But no, it comes in spurts. I mean, I think at the beginning of this year I was at 279 or 280. And I had like a series of different videos about people in their 20s to this like specific sound. And that sound and like that video series was responsible for like probably 60-70% of my following.
Wow.
So like once you kind of find your niche and you have something that's performing well, do more of it and replicate it in different ways with different value snippets and different things. And that's how a lot of creators have exploded. Like they're doing the same content, but just spinning it in different ways. And it works. So.
Right. So when you're making your videos, do you like freestyle them or do you you have them written out? Like, okay, I'm going to do this type of TikTok today. I'm going to do another TikTok tomorrow.
Yeah, it's a good question.
Or what?
No, so what I do is I do and it's just been over the last year and a half of just trying to figure out how to strategize this and make this like a consistent thing I'm doing daily. So during the day, I've kind of had to like compartmentalize it because I'm so busy during the day dealing with clients and, just shooting videos on the fly and doing different things where between like 9:30 and probably 11:30 midnight, I'm spending time consuming content, looking online to see, legislation updates or what type of information that I can put out, but also spending a lot of time like consuming content and seeing what's performing on TikTok, what's trending, what sounds are trending. That 90% of the battle with TikTok is if you've got a trending sound, like your odds of going viral and having more organic reach is so much higher. So you've got to stay on top of like what's happening and what trends are popping off, what sounds are happening, because it's ever changing. Like every week there's just a whole new batch of trends and stuff happening. So you've got to stay on top of it. And it's a lot of work, but what I do is I consume the content at night. When I'm going through my TikTok feed for the For You page, if I come across something I'm interested in or like, oh, I can flip this way or what have you, I'll text it to myself and then just put a blurb in there of how I want to flip it. If it's a point of view skit, I'll put like the different like verbiage snippets of like what I'm thinking or what the plan is. And then that way I can execute on it in real time, because now it only takes me like 5 to 10 minutes to do a video just because I have it all planned out and I can just get it done. It only takes me 20-30 minutes throughout the day, but the planning and the strategy behind it is just a big piece.
So we want to tell you one take, Scott. You do everything one take.
What's that?
I say you do everything one take. It takes you one take to get it.
I mean, for the most part, unless unless I really mess up and I'm like, no, I got to scrap that. But yeah, I mean, I don't overthink it too much anymore.
Okay.
So.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
So I think what we want to know, and everybody wants to know, is how do we turn these followers into dollars?
Yeah.
How does it happen?
Yeah, I think honestly it comes down to, for me, I try to focus on 3 things, providing value through education, and some sort of informational snippet, whether it's legislation or something about a loan program or down payment assistance or minimum credit score, or whatever it is. I'm trying to shine a light on something But then I also try to focus on being entertaining, which taps into, the culture of the platform and what's happening on there and the different trending sounds and things like that. And then the last piece is kind of being authentic. Like I'm kind of sarcastic and off the wall and different. So a lot of my content, shines through with that. Like I'm not your traditional mortgage banker that's real straight laced. Like the video I just did 3 hours ago has the F-bomb in it. So it's,
I think we was watching that too to figure out what you, it was like, ain't no way, boy.
Ain't no way, boy.
Oh, you know about that?
That was did you see that trend?
So we've been talking about that. Yeah, we've been definitely talking about that.
Like,
Did you see that video that I did to it?
you did one to that?
Yeah, I did.
That's crazy.
I
We
gotta
didn't
show it
know.
to you.
Yeah,
we
you
gotta
gotta show it to us.
Yeah.
Like, ain't no way, boy. Ain't no
We were talking about like strategies because we wanted to do a TikTok together.
Yeah.
And that was one of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was one of them.
I like it.
Yeah. So.
But my bad, I cut you off. So, like, how do you translate them into dollars? Like, what would you say, like, is the best way to do it?
Yeah, I mean, I try to focus on those 3 pillars, I call them, but it really kind of just translates into having a service or product that you can, shine education around to, create that want or need from the consumer. For me, like, luckily what I do is the American dream. So I do a lot of just like information surrounding buying a house and, what people think is the requirement and what it really is. Like reality is people think you need perfect credit. You only need a 580 plus credit score for FHA financing. You can have collections. You don't need a perfect score. And same goes for like your employment. People think you need to be with the same job for 2 years to buy a house. You don't. You need to be in the workforce for 2 years with a W-2 or salary hourly position in order to buy a house. And if you just change jobs, and you're increasing your pay or benefits or whatever the case may be, you could just have an offer letter and we can use that as qualifying income. And people don't realize that. And, down payment assistance and just different things. But I try to shine the light on, what makes the process easy and just what people think is the case and it's not. And that just translates into the sale because people trust me and they want more information from me. And it's just kind of snowballed. I didn't expect it to, do that. Right. But I've kind of just followed Gary Vee's footsteps and what he does as far as putting out content and information about branding and entrepreneurship and just providing value,
Value.
So
that's the key word, value. Yeah. And so does this mean like your DMs are going crazy when they're like, hey, Scott, let me send you a loan app? Like where are you directing them to?
Yeah, honestly, I can't keep up with the DMs, and I'm sorry for my followers that are listening. It is so hard. I mean, it's probably 100 to 200 requested messages a week just on Instagram, and then on TikTok, it's thousands. So it's really, really difficult. I can't keep up with it. And the downside with TikTok is once I respond to like 50 or 100 messages within a short period of time, it blocks me from being able to message anyone back for like 24 to 48 hours because it thinks I'm like a bot or something. I don't know what it is with the algorithm and how that works, but yeah, it's very tough to keep up with it. Outside of that, what I do is I have a landing page on my website and it's a sales funnel really. Okay. So once they go to my site, there's a contact me form where they fill out all their information. Yeah. Depending upon the state, and their situation, they will get an automated response via text and via email. If it's something where we feel like we can make it work, we have different fields on the contact me page, like are you employed? Where do you think your credit score is? Just different things. And based on that, they'll be pointed in a specific direction. But, if it looks like something that we can make work, they are sent the application, they can fill out the application online, and then within 48 hours, my team gets in touch. Okay. But that was part of the reason I went from where I was previously to NFM Lending, because they're able to cover like 45 states throughout the U.S. They've got down payment assistance across the U.S., and I only cover 5 states, but now we're building a complete division underneath me where all of these loan officers are covering these leads in these other states, and I'm still able to make some money off of it and monetize it to some extent while not killing myself because there's not enough time in the day for me to facilitate it all. But
exactly,
that's kind of why the move happened and what that looked like.
The automation is like key to any business, and it sounds like that's where you are now, and people are catching up to you. And the company that you signed with now, the NFM, they're willing to make that change. But what would you say, percentage-wise, out of these leads, like how many would you say are like qualification ready?
Yeah, I mean, it's been over 7,000 leads since May 12th.
Wow, people pay a lot of money for that.
Yeah, yeah,
and we're a lot of money for that.
Yeah, we're treat. Oof. Yeah, well, and it's all across the U.S. it's all over the place, different demographics. But what is really awesome is the people that do apply. I think 40% of them have over a 640 credit score.
That's shocking.
Yeah.
So you getting qualified leads.
Yeah, that is shocking.
Right. And what's really insane about it is we have 7,000 leads, but we've gotten over, I think it's like 700 to 800 applications from those leads.
Wow.
So the conversions are really great, and it's all automated. They're not
Yeah.
talking to anyone. It's the trust in the brand and the education online. And now we're at a point where we're building different things out. We're building, this thing through Twilio, where it's going to be an automated service with my voice on the other line, and an automated system where they can call in, do different things, and then we're building like a call center, different stuff to be able to, do outreach and different things, because the database alone, we're hoping in the next few years we can grow it to 500,000 with the team that we're building. And like the one gentleman that we brought on underneath me, if you guys check him out, he's Your Mortgage Guide on TikTok. He was at 27,000 followers a month and a half ago, and since he's joined and started strategizing with me, and we've been collaborating on content, now he's up to like 112,000 followers in a month and a half.
Man,
So
We're in such a great time right now.
yeah, so that's kind of the goal, is to grow the team and complete the vision of other influencers that we can train to do what I've done, and just take it to an entire different level.
Wow.
So
you taking it to a whole nother level, man. 7,000 leads.
yeah,
So the reason why
This is
that's
amazing.
so essential is because before, the old method was probably just pay, throw a hell of money in
Ads.
advertisement.
Yeah.
That weren't working, just blanket advertising, and now people are following the person, they're coming to you all, and that kind of makes me have a question. Is the new thing that at least we're seeing in random people who just got a social media ad. Maybe it's a girl that's cute and she's trying to get followers. She's paying for advertising now, not selling a product or anything.
right.
What do you think about mortgage lenders paying for advertising on Facebook or Instagram? Do you think that they should more invest that time in doing what you're doing, or is it still worth it to pay for advertising on those platforms?
I think it's still worth it, and this is something my team is working on right now. Is we're building pixels for all of these people that are going to our landing page, so that we can retarget them on other platforms and push ads in front of them once they've come across our content organically, which is just going to reinforce the sale even further. But I think for large corporations who haven't really figured out the organic content, and just organic reach just through content generation, I think there's a place for it, but it's so difficult on Facebook and Instagram because it's so saturated right now. And I wouldn't want to focus on that if that was me. I think the retargeting of what we're doing through the pixels and everything, where you've already have been in front of someone, they know who you are, and you're just reinforcing the sale and staying in front of them, is a little bit different. But it is real cold trying to get leads from a Facebook ad now. I mean, I don't know. It was cold 3-4 years ago when I tried. I couldn't imagine what it's like now. Maybe has it gotten better? I mean,
No, I haven't used it.
I haven't bought an
I
ad.
haven't used it, but you did say something that was important. Is where are these pixels? I feel like that was a bird right there.
Yeah.
Break that down. What is that?
So I don't know too much about the technical side of it, but it's almost like something that's attached to someone from a digital standpoint, where and I don't know if it's tied to the device. I have to get with my digital team and learn more about it. They're kind of the experts on that, but it kind of targets a device or a person where, depending upon what platform they're on or what they're searching for on Google, your ad's going to come up, and you've kind of like identified that as a customer.
And it's gonna be your face.
Right, yeah, like the other day I was on Chubby's website for like bathing suits, and they had like this discount code or something, and I had filled something out with my email. But now I go on Facebook, I go on Instagram, and Chubby's is all over the place. But that's what it is. They
Wow. I see
build a
what you're
pixel
saying.
around me, and they just keep retargeting me. And like I'm getting ready to buy one of their sweatshirts because of it. Because I don't know, like they're just different, like off the wall, colorful
Right,
shit.
right.
So, but
And what's crazy is that you see that for a brand, like you said, Chubby's. But if we talking about Scott, that person is seeing your face.
right after they've already seen me, and
Not just the
reached out to me.
brand, you are a brand, but they're seeing your face. Like Scott is reaching out to me. That's crazy. That's next level.
Right.
Right.
Yep.
That's different.
Sheesh.
That's the future.
It is the future, man. It's wild. But yeah, I don't know much about just like normal advertising now.
I think we learned
So,
enough right there. I think we gave our viewers some homework.
Okay.
And we can't tell your viewers why you keep popping up. They're like, yo, what is Scott doing over here? We don't just let them feel like it's organic, like it's a sign.
Right.
They should just
The universe
put
is
an
telling me
application.
something.
Right. exactly.
We're just gonna leave it at that, you know.
That's funny.
Now I just have so when is like a good time to post?
On TikTok?
Yeah, TikTok.
Yeah, I mean, on Instagram and TikTok, I normally do 12 or 3, and then I also do 5 p.m. on TikTok. So like 12, 3, and 5 p.m. are my sweet spots. I don't know if it's just because my followers now know that I post at those times or what, but when I post early in the morning or I post later at night, my views and my engagement are just a fraction of what it is when I post during like those times. So I don't know if it's specific to me or my followers, but it's normally on those times. I don't normally post after 3 p.m. on Instagram though. I don't know what it is. Like I've tried posting at 5, 6 p.m. and I get, a third to half of the engagement I get when I post at 12 and 3. But I'm now trying to figure out YouTube. I don't know when the best times are to post on YouTube. So now I'm in the trial and error phase trying to figure that out. But
For sure.
Now, can you make money off of TikTok, like your views? 'Cause
yeah.
I've heard that like with Instagram now, people are monetizing off of Instagram. When an ad pops up, when your video pops up, then the ad pops up, and then you get paid or something. I don't really know. I'm not a social media guru like you, but
No, man, I'm not either. Honestly, I don't know anything about that on Instagram. I don't know if they're doing a creator fund like
They're doing
TikTok.
it. It's like on stories.
Oh,
So
okay.
let's say you watch the stories. I'll watch Scott's stories, and if I want to go to Jamal's story, it's gonna be a random Gucci ad. Then it'll show me Jamal's. But it only happens on certain people who have certain followers or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know much about that. I know I am a part of the TikTok Creator Fund, which is just like they have a creator fund that they launched, I think it was a year ago or something like that, where you get paid off of the amount of views that you're getting on your videos. And for me, it's normally like $1,000 or so a month, so it's not a lot, but
That's a couple bills.
yeah, a couple bills.
That'll finance a Tesla.
Yeah, right. So, but it's crazy, man. I mean, unlike, if I was getting the same views I'm getting now on YouTube, I mean, I would be making over $100,000 a month just on monetization with YouTube because, with 700,000, 800,000 subscribers on YouTube, I mean, that is serious advertising cash flow. It's a lot.
Yeah.
So you're transitioning to YouTube. You already have your channel together, or?
Yeah, I mean, I have the channel together. My green screen room and my studio at the house is coming together as we speak. So I'm hoping, like in the next month or so, to really set my sights on that. I want to prepare some content and have different things kind of ironed out, and maybe have like 4 or 5 episodes set before I launch, and like make it a consistent weekly thing. But yeah, in the next 2 to 3 months, I'm really hoping to start going hard at it for the next couple of years until hopefully it gets back up to TikTok's level. I just want to drive a lot of the followers from TikTok and Instagram to YouTube, and do front-facing short form content on those platforms to drive more followers to, watch some nitty-gritty stuff on there. So,
Yeah, I think it's so funny. It's because a lot of people are saying, "Hey, Maurice, I thought you were a real estate guy. What are you doing? You're creating content now." People don't understand that YouTube and TikTok and the Instagram is the new real estate. Because when you own multiple properties, I've had a small portfolio before I cashed out and bought this building, is you got to deal with hot water tanks going out. You got to deal with the HVAC not working. People not paying rent.
Yeah.
As far as I know, YouTube pay on time.
Yeah.
And people can consume your content at midnight. You're getting paid. It just seems like such the future and a better form of intellectual property, just being the real estate that you own online, that it's just the way that everything's going to have to be.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a wild time to live in.
So one of my questions to you is that, you being with NFM, but people can get mortgages from Navy Federal, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, small credit union that they bank at. Do you think that you being on social media gives you a distinct advantage versus some of these commercial retail mortgage companies, and how can you compete? Is that the future, or what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it adds a level of realness with what I'm doing. They know that it's a real person behind the scenes. It's not, this big corporation that really doesn't care about the consumer at the end of the day. They're just another number. For me, I take a lot of pride in what I do. I take my reputation seriously. And I think, when I have clients that don't know me from online, and they find out that I'm online, they freak out. They're like, "Oh my God, I had no idea.
Famous.
I saw this guy the other day, and then I went to his profile, and it's you." And just like different stuff like that. That's really cool. But I think it just helps the consumer know that it's a real person behind the scenes. I'm not some arrogant banker that just doesn't care and just is out here to make a dollar. Like, I'm trying to educate people, and whether you use me or not, great. Like, there's no expectation there, but at the end of the day, that trickles into dollar amounts and revenue because people trust you and they know it's a real person. It's not some corporation just shoving a sale down their throat.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think it's funny because I can only imagine, in real estate, we might have a client that we're working with, right? Mm-hmm. And then they'll say, well, my friend has an agent that told me that real estate goes this way. So someone can probably be watching your content and now they just went to the commercial banker for whatever reason they didn't go to you. Now they're saying, well, I know a loan officer and he says you could do it this way. It's like, no, you can't get Scott's product unless you work with Scott.
Right.
But you at least inform them. Even if they're not using that information properly,
right.
You're still tooling them with information to use to go buy a home. So that's that value that we were talking about.
Yeah, man.
But with you having close to 700K, we're gonna get you. Hopefully, this when we drop this, we get you close to 700, maybe 750 by the time. Is there a negative or a hindrance to having such a large social media following and getting so many leads? Can that actually hurt your business? Growing too fast, maybe?
Yeah, I think if you're not prepared for it, absolutely. Where I was previously, I didn't have any automation, and I take my reputation so seriously that I was probably spending 80 to 100 hours a week just responding to emails.
Wow.
And 90% of the people that were hitting me up, I couldn't help. And I had canned responses and templated responses, but it was thousands of inquiries, every month, and it just took a lot of time to stay up responding to people and letting them know, hey, unfortunately, I can't help you right now, blah, blah, blah. But I think if you're not prepared and you don't have that mindset, it's a slippery slope. It takes 15 to 30 trolls to get pissed off and, start trolling on your content and saying, this guy didn't get back to me, or, this guy's a joke, or whatever the case is. That's not a good look. So
we're at the top of the iceberg, man. So I'm excited. We got a lot of information out of the Mr. Mortgage guy today, man.
Yeah, man. Scott dropped some birds.
Yes.
Now we're going to talk about a lot of things that may help people understand what's currently going on in the market and hopefully be successful. Because at the end of the day, this is all about education.
Yes. Definitely. So what's your take on the current real estate market, like from your perspective?
It's tough out there. I mean, the inventory has been brutal throughout the course of this year. I think it's getting better. It's gotten better over the last 45 days. I'm also interested to see how the market plays out with the moratorium ending on forbearances, as well as renters that haven't been paying their rent because of COVID. I think there was like 2 to 3 million renters that have not been paying their rent payments for the last 12 to 18 months. And I'm curious to see how many of those investors that are renting out these properties are ready to unload these properties at the peak of the market. Mm-hmm. And a lot of those listings may be run down, like these renters that haven't been paying the rent, depending upon the situation, they may not have been taking care of the house. Mm-hmm. That could definitely open things up even more. And I think, with right now, with where rates are, we're at one of the lowest ranges we've ever seen. So as far as like interest and what you're paying on a house, it's one of the best times to buy. But I think it's going to continue to get better over the course of the end of the year. And I'm hoping that inventory just kind of stabilizes a little bit just with what's going on, but we'll see.
It's a lot of probably HVAC systems out here on the same filter from 18 months ago.
Right.
Right. Haven't been changing that filter every month.
Right.
So we discussed a lot about where you are currently in the mortgage business and the fact that, you guys are licensed in 45 states. So I guess it's easier to say, which states aren't you guys licensed in?
Yeah, so it's I got to pull up the list. It's some oddball states. It's like Hawaii, North Dakota, Alaska, New York, and Wisconsin, I think, are the 5.
Okay.
So
New York? That's what I was thinking.
I'm kind of bummed about New York, I'm not going to lie. Because I get a lot of people in New York from social media, too. It's probably one of my hottest states. But supposedly the lending laws in New York are really difficult, and they're not favorable to lenders and banks. So a lot of banks, national banks, steer clear of that state. I don't know exactly what it is or what goes into that because I've never really done business there, but that's what I've heard. So
I know real estate wise, it's an attorney review state, which can get a little bit nasty, which means that an agent can be representing a client, but before the contract is fully ratified, attorney has to sign off on it.
oh, okay.
And it just gets in the way so much. So maybe that's probably something to do with it.
I couldn't tell you.
Okay. So, like, what do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Like, what's like your end goal?
The end goal is to hopefully grow the social media following and the brand to, maybe 6 to 7 million followers and, scale YouTube, other platforms, and hopefully just become an engine that I can feed my team with and kind of step away from the direct consumer, interaction and doing all of that stuff. And while I love to do it, it's just there's not enough time in the day to work with all these people. So I think it's just growing that and taking it to another level so I can just focus on content and, providing value and putting out information. And that's really where I want to head with it. So.
Okay. Well, you've been a lifelong entrepreneur, so what is your entrepreneurial retirement plan? Do you see yourself not working, or like, are you doing certain things to position yourself for retirement? Can you tell us a little bit about what you got going on?
Yeah, I mean, as far as debt is concerned, we don't really carry any debt except our house. Like when we buy cars, we normally pay cash. But as far as like the long term is concerned, my goal is, to have maybe an exit strategy in 10 to 15 years, sell the brand, take my earnings and sit back and hopefully invest at that point and just buy real estate, do buy and holds, flips, just different things, and just really kind of stay in the real estate sector because that's what I know. Unless I get into stocks or what have you, which I don't think I will. But
Okay.
yeah,
stick with what you know sometimes. Don't go wrong.
yeah.
So we talked about a couple things offline. Mainly what you have personally going on with your social media business. But can you talk a little bit about some mentorship programs or educational programs that you're creating to inform other people about how to become content creators, etc.?
Yeah, so I'm actually writing an ebook right now that's going to be called Influencer University that's going to share a lot of the strategy behind what I do on a daily basis and what I've just built out through trial and error and figuring out what works and what doesn't. But that is in the works. I'm hoping to have that wrapped up in the next month or 2 months. I still have to get with the graphics team and put in QR codes with video references and all different types of stuff that we're building into it. But it'll be hopefully a 25 to 30 page ebook, just kind of breaking down all of the specifics and the strategy and what I try to focus on. And at first, it was really the idea of just helping my team and building a team of influencers that can do what I do and scale it even further. But eventually I want to put it out there for everyone to have, and just provide value and information and put it out for free.
Okay.
So
It's going to be great. You got to let us know because we would love to host that. We've been talking about kind of creating like an affiliates program.
Yeah.
Where, we can work together to maybe create a content place where people can come get the information from all the different type of entrepreneurs that we're interviewing. And if that means that even you have a university or something that we can refer people to,
yeah,
we'd love to be a part of that.
Yeah,
Sure.
absolutely. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, so we're coming to the end of this. We have a section called the rapid fire questions.
Okay.
So there's a few questions. Just answer the questions to the best of your ability.
All right.
Okay. So the first question is, what was the last book that you read?
I couldn't tell you.
Okay.
You're not alone.
I'm starting to see that's a trend, man.
Maybe something in high school.
Yeah.
And I probably just read SparkNotes on it. So
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Not a big reader.
A lot of people don't read
Yeah.
a lot of books.
We watch content now.
Yeah,
So,
content and read articles.
Yeah.
Served up in nice little 10 to 12 second snippets.
Yeah. All right. So, do you want to do $1 million cash, or a week with Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos? Which one would you take?
A week with Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos.
Okay.
Why?
Because I could make $1 million cash.
Uh-huh.
At that time, and the connection would be invaluable, I think.
Right.
Sure.
So, okay.
Yeah. You're not alone with that either. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you had $100 and a laptop, where would you start your business?
Where would I start my business? I would
Yeah.
start it on Squarespace and social media. You
Okay.
know, and have maybe like an e-commerce site built out through Squarespace that's just a plug and play templated thing that costs $5-10 a month or whatever it is.
Okay.
I would start there, and drive people from socials to it and funnel people in that way.
Okay.
All right, so social media revenue or mortgage revenue, which was the best? Which would you prefer?
Right now, mortgage revenue.
Okay.
But long term, hopefully, social media revenue.
Okay, and this is probably a no-brainer. TikTok or IG?
TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Scott, we appreciate you, man, stopping by.
Yes.
Of course.
Thank you so
You're
much.
busy, man. You got a lot going on. Phones are going off.
Yeah.
But hey, we
Phones
here.
going on.
We made it. I mean, I thank you for attending. This is probably going to be the last game of the season. I think this was championship season, man.
Championship season.
The championship season.
Okay.
We ended it off strong, so
Yeah.
I appreciate you, man. Do you have
course.
any words, Jamal?
Nah, man, just thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
really, really appreciate it. I'm blessed, that you're here.
No, I appreciate you guys having me on.
So-
It's cool.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, man.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, man. So
That's
this
it.
wrapped up
That's a wrap.
Below the Iceberg podcast.